Hello, hello, we are live. Yes. It's good to be here this very afternoon, this glorious afternoon, all the way from Nigeria. And it is our content basics and mindset basics training. Okay, it is our content and mindset basics toward 2021. How do we want to project ourselves? How do we want to be seen as humans in our lives with respect to our destinies, our purpose? Now, this had been a resonating thought among the admins of this great group, and we decided that okay, let's come on to our people with this opportunity to interact, to relate, and to just have a feel of how we can better position ourselves towards 2021. So, here I am. Ehi Esther Ainabe is the name, and on here with me is my fellow admin Echezona Ede. He's going to be training with me today. So, today, what do we have for you? We're going to have 30 minutes of Ehi Esther coming on to speak with us on content generation. Just an introduction, though, then a little chip here and there about what we are about. Wow, thank you, James Osaruense, for watching with me. Welcome. So, in continuation, Ede Echezona would be coming on after I'm done to speak with us about content generation and everything he has in mind to pass on to us today. So that's what we're going to be having for today, an hour of interaction with us from two great trainers. All right. Then tomorrow we're going to have Leader Sam Ibanga Unbox book launch. So he's going to be training tomorrow while I join him to spice up the book launch and training. Then in the third day of this particular event, we are going to continue with our training. And it will be nice at this time for me to let you know that there is a co-trainer with me here, my son. So he's going to be video bombing or just walking around. So just in case you see him, just know that the co-trainer is doing his job also. Please do not be surprised. So if you're online right now, let me know by your interactions. If you're getting anything from the training, let me know by your interaction. Like you all know, I am Ehi Esther Ainabe, a transformation strategist in the area of mindset and emotional intelligence. What I do is to help you become a better version of you, a better version of you that has an upgraded mindset, a better version of you that has trained emotions. And how do we do this? We'll go into your very core, your very depth, and bring out the value the value of you, which may be very crude, which may not look so interesting to anyone, but I'll go with you on that journey, discover that purposeful you, and we begin to work on you. We begin to work on your confidence. We begin to go over the pains, the traumas, the limiting beliefs, and arrive at a transformed you that is going to better that organization, that is going to better that family, that is going to better that business. That is what I'm about. So, straight on to what we have for today. What is content? Content. Well, let me start by drawing a comparison between content and container. Whenever you see a container, if it is filled with either a fluid or a solid substance, it is actually carrying something, meaning that whatever is inside that container is the content of that container. That is an analogy, it's not yet a definition. Okay, So the next thing would be you as a human being. You are a container carrying different organs, carrying different systems, carrying different cells, carrying different tissues. And right here, you have your mind. In your mind, there is something that turns itself into reproducible thoughts, reproducible words, reproducible actions. And that is content. There is content in the mind. So, what content are you made of based on these analogies? Let's go over to define content. What is content? Content is something that is to be expressed through some medium, such as speech, writing, or any of the various arts. So content is something with relation to our particular topic. Content is something to be expressed through speech. Just as I am speaking now, there is a content based on an initial thought that is coming forth to us. Okay? Now, at the end of the day, where does content start from? Content always starts from the thought, your thought. Whether it is your speech, whether it's any form of artistic representation, your content always begins from your thought. Okay? So, I want to ask, what do you think you as a person can do to improve your content? That should be a resonating question with you as we go through the study. Now, content is the representation. It is actually the presentation and representation of information for a purpose to an audience through a channel in a form. Content is the presentation and representation, because you can present and represent. That is where reinforcement comes into play. Okay? It is the presentation and representation of information for a purpose to an audience through a channel in a form. Okay? So, in essence, when we're talking about content, we're talking about 5 components. Content consists of 5 basic components. What are the components? We have the information, then we have the purpose for which you are sending that particular information. Then we have the audience. There ought to be an audience whenever you are talking about content. Then we'll talk about the form. What form? Then what channel are you using to pass on that content? In this very case, we're talking about content as relating to you, because if you are a container, we want to dwell on two particular aspects. Now, we want to dwell on your mindset and your emotional aspects. Those areas are containers. Those areas are spaces within you that carry things. What do you currently carry? Because according to what you carry, you are going to give out. You're going to deliver, because you cannot give what you do not have. For that person that is going to pass from 2020 to 2021, giving out quality, producing results, and getting profit, you need to prepare at this time with quality content. There need to be deposits inside of you. So the first thing now is, what is information? Information are ideas beginning from your brain, beginning from your mind. Okay? Beginning from your mind. Now, what kind of ideas are you sending out currently as a person? What kind of ideas are you sending out? Are you consistent in sending out these ideas, this information? You say you want to be a music artist. How many songs do you listen to? Before you can send an idea out, you must have brought an idea in. You must have processed that idea inside of you before you can churn out something. So, information, they are ideas within you. Now, it's a combination of the most important ideas that an audience would be requiring in order to move forward or get ahead in life. Okay? Now, there are key details in every information. Just as we're talking about content creation, there are key details we want to understand. That is why we're talking about the components, 5 components. Now, if you're listening to me, I want you to type in the comment section what the 5 components I talked about are. Okay, tell me at least one. Tell me at least one component that I mentioned. I know that I mentioned information, I mentioned purpose, I mentioned the audience. Then I know that I also mentioned the form, I mentioned the channel. So if you're with me, I can see Echezona Ede and Osas Osariwen say, if you are with me, I need you to type and connect with this training. I'm not happy with you just staying there without doing anything. Whenever I get on any training, I participate, I interact. You know why? Because I am a student willing to learn at all times. Maybe you are commenting, I can't see it. Okay, if that's the case, no problem. Let me just wave at you. You've waved at me before. So, thank you for joining me again. So, we've talked about information. The next thing is the purpose. You have content. What is the purpose of the content you're sending out? You want to be a trainer. You want to be a teacher. You want to earn more money. What is the purpose of that business? What is the purpose of that post? What is the purpose of that talk you're giving? It's an information. You can't just pass information without a purpose. So for content to be complete, the next thing is the purpose. Why do you want your audience to think in a particular way that you're driving them with your speech or with your write-ups? What is the purpose of your content? Because when the use of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. You see, I'm turning to check what my trainer is doing right now. So pardon me. Okay? Osema, stop that, stop that, stop that. All right? So, in continuation, when you state the goal explicitly of whatever you're going into, whatever you want to do, it makes easier the transformation process. It makes easier the transmitting of your message. So, for content to be complete, you need an information, an idea that starts from the mind. That idea now gets worked on creatively by you, and as you're working on it creatively, you start thinking, what is the purpose of? I want to talk to women. I want to talk to them about how to create a good family. I want to bring together a group of 100 women, and I want to groom them. I want to coach them on how to build a beautiful home, a stable home. Now, what is the essence of me wanting to teach them? Because I want us to create stable families that will result in stable communities, that will result in stable societies, that will result in stable nations. Because when there is stability in any nation, there will be security, there will be economic growth, and all that. Now, in my own way, because I have a well-defined goal of the content of what I want to do, I'm going to channel my energy aright. Okay? Now, the next thing is the audience. Who is your intended audience? When you write, when you speak, who are the people that you're trying to reach out to? Identifying the kind of people, identifying the age bracket, identifying what their pain points are, identifying what at that time they are willing to bring out their money for, will help in your content creation, content acceptance, and content profiting. Okay, the next thing we need to look at is that the channel you will want to get through to your audience from. What channel are you trying to use? What channel are you trying to use? What are the channels you're trying to use to get to your to your audience. Okay, if it's Facebook, Facebook is a channel. If it's Twitter, is a channel. If it is face to face, is a channel. Okay, now if your audience, look at the age bracket, because for every talking about online now, for every channel there are a particular group of persons that are there. For example, Facebook is for people that really want to have these connections with their friends or their audience, using pictures, using live videos, using yes, they want to connect, they want to see the face behind that particular profile. They are more interested in knowing the person that is behind that particular profile. Then you talk about Twitter. You see, Twitter right there, you cannot write as much as you can on Facebook. You just have to be straight to the point. And you need to use hashtags oftentimes while on Twitter. What about Instagram? Instagram, you need to have good quality pictures, very good quality pictures, and a lot of high profile persons prefer Instagram. Why? Because of the proliferation of cloned accounts on Facebook. So a lot of persons don't want to. So you see, for every channel you want to use, there should be a reason. You should know the advantages and disadvantages. All right. Then the next thing is, we're talking about TikTok. TikTok, if you want to reach out to the youth, you want to reach out to teenagers, TikTok is the channel you want to use. So defining your audience, defining your purpose, all of these things, it's like a step-by-step thing. By the time you know who your audience is, you now know the channel you want to use. Am I making myself clear? Then if you are the one that likes face-to-face human interaction, contact, you are the one that will definitely need to have face-to-face meetings, offline meetings. You need to get the venue, then you need to start counting the cost. You need to start reaching out, get your flyers ready, whether e-flyers or physical. In fact, in this, if you're an offline content creator that wants to reach out to your audience through face to face, what you need to do is that you will need to create flyers both online and offline, because whatever you're doing offline, you must add the online factor for you to progress. You may be wondering why all this. It's important to talk about this because the world has gone digital. It is now a techie world we're in now. And if we cannot follow the trend, if we cannot follow through with what is attractive, what is endearing to our audience, then we'll be losing out. Okay? So that is for the channel. Okay, always check the channel that you want to use. Ensure that you're using the right channel. You can use a combination of channels. LinkedIn, what do you use LinkedIn for? You check if LinkedIn will be the best channel for you. Use it. Then you can use a combination of different channels. Now, among all of these channels mentioned, there are the ones that you need to have as basics. For example, LinkedIn is very important. LinkedIn is very important. Then even having a Google account is very important. Having your presence on Google is so important that at the end of the day, when you go onto Google and type in your name as a content creator, does it come up? That is talking about the channel. There are certain channels that come or pop up more readily than even Facebook on Google. For example, YouTube. If you have registered on Google, you have an account with Google, your name will definitely pop up if you're a content creator. So for you that is watching me right now, is it important for you to know the channel you're supposed to use for your target audience? Having identified them, very important, because you don't want to be like one that is pouring water into a basket. You want to be like the one that is pouring water into the container known as the drum, that can retain, that can store, so that when you need to do anything with that particular content, with that particular water, you're going to have profit. Is it that you're going to turn that water to liquid soap, or you're going to turn that water to perfume, or you're going to turn it to something else that will bring you profit? But if you cannot put together that content, because in putting it together, what is that channel that when people go to Google, when people go online, they just type in your name or type in your business name, they're able to get it? Content creation, very, very, very important. But it starts from you as a human being, your mind. It is what you have in your mind that will be representing your business, because now you are the business. Then the next thing we want to look at is the form. How will your communication be rendered in the final state? How is it going to be communicated to people? Is it going to be communicated in the form of a speech, talking just as I am? Is it going to be communicated in the form of writing, blogging, writing Facebook posts, writing Instagram posts? Is it going to come in the form of pictures? Or is it going to come in the form of combination of both pictures and words? Or is it going to come in the form of a video? So let's name these forms. It can come in written form. It can come in audio form. It can come in the form of a speech. Okay? It can come in the form of a video. So whatever form you want to present it, it's very important that you get yourself prepared. Now, part of what I want to do today is to encourage every one of us on this group to begin to start creating content. The real content I admire and I love is that content that comes from the heart. When you connect with your audience emotionally, you're connecting with them. Wow. You are actually selling a very, very integral part of what you are, who you are on the inside, your content there. So at this stage, I want to appreciate Jubril, Oluwatobi, for joining me. I'm going to give you a wave now. Then I want to appreciate Francisca Dennis Obigo for joining me. Also saying thank you to James Osarorense for being here, and Echezona Ede for standing in all the while. So this is an introduction, and by way of a recap, I want to say that we talked about content. What is content? Content is actually what you have inside of you. I'm summarizing now. What you have inside of you. And we are talking about the inside of you. We're talking about now are the centers of the mind and emotions. What you have inside of you that you can transfer through a medium to a particular audience. Knowing that you have a purpose, there is a purpose for which you want to do that. Okay, now we looked at the components of content. For you to be able to generate content, to have a whole well-formed content, it should have in it information, an idea. You have something you want to sell. You don't just come empty to the table. You have something you want to sell to who? To a particular audience. Now, you have that. What is the purpose of wanting to sell that thing, that idea to your audience? Then the next thing will be, what channel are you going to use to reach out to these persons? Then what form is it going to take? All of these, if you want to hear it again, if you just joined or you're watching the replay, you can go over the video and check it. So at this point, I've come to encourage you that is shy to create video content. Look at me. I'm wearing a simple t-shirt. I just had my face powdered. I set up my apparatus. Permit me, I'm a science student. I set it up. Simple. And I am already doing a live video, because one of the things you need, first of all, as a content creator onto profit in 2021 is confidence. You need to be confident that whatever you're saying, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment, that you are going to affect one or two lives. In this climb where lives are not taken as important, I want us to be a set of person, a brand of people that take one life as very important. Because if you can save one life, you have saved a generation. And I want us to raise up today. Create content. Because after these 3 days, it's a 7-day thing. Taking out the weekends. Yes, we can just still do a little bit of skeletal work during the weekends, but we want our members to be able to rest and all that. But the days we picked out for the whole stretch of 7 days, 3 days for training, 4 days for expressions. Write, do videos, create podcasts. Yes, you can do that. Tell yourself the things that you need to get into without fear. If that is only what we can do this period, that mindset, put it in you that you are a champion, that you're a content creator. Everyone is a content creator. The thing is, which kind of content are you creating? What kind of content are you creating? Good or bad content? Negative or positive content? Because whether you like it or not, deliberately or not, you are selling yourself. So, but I want us to sell deliberately good and profitable aspects of ourselves. I'll be rounding off here. I'll be going off so a chase on our Ede can come on and be with us in the next few minutes. If you have questions, you can drop them for me. I will be responding to them. Thank you, Samuel Ibanga Mbok, my leader, for joining. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing. I'm speaking to the team. My team are such awesome set of persons, awesome set of leaders that sometimes they make me jack up in the night and start trying to read, start trying to research, start trying to do one or two things. And so in the spirit of Ubuntu, I want us to know as Nigerians that there is hope for us. As we build our content, let us also be patriotic. Whatever is happening in the country toward good, be part of it. Why? Because this good that just started today, if you know, you know. To those that are members of my tribe, that are members of the network, that are citizens of Nigeria, they understand what I'm talking about. So in the spirit of oneness, let us come together and ensure that we are promoting greatness, speaking up for the oppressed, and generating good content. Speak well. Stop condemning people. Write 2 or 3 lines. It mustn't be long. You mustn't write something long for you to know you're a content generator. We'll talk about how you can actually get pieced together your content. Okay? But you can start. Even now. Having talked about this, start. Just write something. Okay? For example, I said, if not for God, I would have lost everything. It came as a thought while I was trying to set this up. And I wrote it down. I'm going to build on that. It becomes the content. I get a good picture of myself or someone else that I like his or her face. And content is there. So, if I can do it, you can do much more. So, I'll be signing off from here. Remember, we are in this together. And on Thursdays, you can join my emotional healing and mindset hack sessions for us to relate further. Talk to me about your problems. I'm here to help you build your confidence and a better version of you. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye, beautiful people, handsome people. Bye-bye.